Hey guys, and welcome to another Plexus Hub video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PCQ17 by Lian Li. Now, some people might pronounce it Lian Li, others Lian Li, whatever you want to call it. This is an incredible case. Now, they were kind enough to send me this, so first of all, a big thank you to them. Now, kind of moving on into what I think about the case slash just going over some of the basics. This is obviously a small form factor case. This is tiny. I mean, we're talking tiny case. It's my girlfriend's new case actually. She's claimed it. She likes it that much. It's currently on overclockers for £150. So that's something to take into consideration when we're reviewing this. To quickly tell you a few facts about Lian Li, they're all about the kind of design. Aesthetics usually follows second. Sorry there. So what you can expect from them, from pretty much every case they've ever released, is this gorgeous machining. Everything's so intricate, everything's so perfect, it's well planned, the finish is beautiful. It's a very interesting company, because for me they've yet to make a product I don't like. But the Q17's a little bit out of their comfort range. I actually teamed up with Asus on this one to create kind of the Republic of Gamers theme. Don't know how well you can see it, so I'm just gonna rotate it around a bit for you. And so this is obviously black, and then at the sides you can see the accents. Now, if this video isn't too good, don't forget, if you want to see some more pictures, we've done a feature video of this which shows really close-up macro shots of some of the machining and generally the case. That's in our showcase section. You can also go onto the website and there'll be some pictures there. Now, just kind of, you know, talking about how they've designed this case, every panel just comes off. It's put together with, they're basically like quick release pins. They just slot in and you can pull them off. So you can build this case without a screwdriver. And yeah, all the panels come off really easily. There's the top panel. And just to quickly, you know, run through some of the features. Loads of storage on this. You can pretty much put hard drives anywhere and everywhere in this case. From the front to at the bottom of the case, you know, you can stick drives there. For this build, I actually opted to do something a little unconventional, because when I review cases, I want everyone to be very unique, a little bit out of the box. So what we've actually done with this is we've stealthed the SSD. We haven't actually used the front or the back or the bottom. The SSD is just sat underneath the power supply, which I'll show you in a second. But kind of moving on to what's in the case, obviously this is an ATX or an SFX power supply compliant case, which is really cool. I like it when a company does that. It's actually behind this ROG piece here is where your power supply sits. And then obviously this is the section you have to work with. So you have to be very nimble when it comes to using your hands, and also kind of how you're going to plan out the case. So to quickly jump into what I put in it, we've just got an SFX, an XFX 7700, which is like tiny short PCB card. I kind of use it for my SFF builds. It's nice and light and easy to use, and it still punches a very good graphicness. You can actually put up to a 270mm graphics card in this, so you could quite happily fit most modern GPUs in there. I mean, there's a lot of space. I'll just take this off for you. Many panels everywhere. The thing I will say about these panels is be careful when you're taking them apart. They do scratch easily. And when you spent 150 quid on a case, you do want to be very careful with it. So yeah, you obviously have all of this space at the bottom to work with. Don't know how well you can see that. For graphics cards, so again, huge amount of space. On the actual case itself, they've kind of built as many pass-throughs as they can, so you can route cables really easily. I mean, if you're plugging in a big graphics card, you shouldn't have a problem getting all the cables in. And I didn't even use much of their routing because I didn't really have much going into the case. I'm using obviously four fans on this build. I'm using 2 square Noctua Redux 140mm fans because the top is 140 and the cooler is also 140. And then I've opted for 2 80mm from the Redux range at the back. So these sit pretty much 5mm away from what I've used as a cooler, which is the Noctua C14. So for a case this size, I mean, that's a lot of cooling power. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the C14 for all your builds because it's a very big cooler and it can bend a few graphics cards out of their slot depending on the board you're using. But in this case it was okay. Now, because the power supply does sit kind of in the middle of the case, you actually plug it in at the back and then there's a runner cable so that you can run the cable all the way around. And you can see here some of my cable management. Now I didn't spend a huge amount of time on this. I don't like to spend too much time on it. I like to get a feel for how a consumer might have building it. So the best way to do that is for me to spend less time on it. And generally speaking, I mean, this is a G3258 build. I'm not gonna lie, it may have an MSI board in there, but for the sake of this review, let's just pretend it's an Asus Maximus Impact, Dog's Bollocks, etc. And we've got an Asus Strix card in there. But the point I'm trying to make here is I've used very big components just to kind of show you how much space is in the case, even though it's quite small. Some of the things I did find a bit weird about the case, have to admit, having the top mounted radiator option was a bit weird. Generally speaking, actually, that's the only thing I thought was quite weird. The ODD drive, which is an optional disk drive for the Slimline, that's a bit weird. I don't know how many people still use CD drives, but I would have loved for this just to not be there. Super clean, because if you put a DVD drive in there, that's cool, but if you don't, then it's a bit pointless. And again, moving around to the front of the case, you can kind of see where you can mount things. So it's a very, very pristine case. I think it's one of the nicest examples of an SFX case, or an SFF case rather. Messing up all my words today, aren't I? I can't really think of what else I'd change about it to make it better. I loved the modular design of it all. I loved building in it. I love the quality of it. I love how it looks. Obviously, all metal cases are really good at conducting all the heat really nicely. That's a bit weird. So it keeps really cool. Even under very, very, very high loads. Obviously, I've gone for the Redux range, which is a bit weird, because a lot of people might be like, grey? But I thought the grey was a nice contrast to the black aluminium. If I could line this up properly. And generally speaking, this case just looks incredible. I've obviously removed the Perspex window, but there is a piece of acrylic that sits here that's kind of a smoke grey, which is quite nice. But you know, that's generally all there is to this case. It's not something that I need to talk about for ages and ages and ages. I think for all those looking to kind of upgrade this year to maybe an ITX setup, and they're looking at the Maximus board. Is it the Maximus board? The Asus Impact board. Then this is a case to consider. It is a bit of a shame that it is so rogged up, because I'd love just a minimal black version of this, just for those people that, you know, might not have a ROG board. But I'd say, even if you don't have a ROG board, just put a massive CPU cooler on and hide it, because it's a cool looking case. I mean, I took this to an event recently, and just, you know, my girlfriend was playing games on it, and people were like looking at it like, oh my god, what's that case? It looks amazing. And obviously I think that was before overclockers were even selling it, so it was an interesting one. But the general machining, the price, everything is very much what it should be. I can't see myself saying it's overpriced, because at the end of the day, the materials used are amazing. You're obviously paying a tiny bit of a premium for the Asus design, which I think is fair enough. I mean, if a company, you got to remember, like, a company has basically just released a case simply for one manufacturer, so they're going to have to price it a little bit higher to make back some of that money that they might lose by necessarily turning down fans who would want this case but don't have an Asus board, if that makes sense. So it's a limited edition case, you know, from the front to the bottom, it's just gorgeous. And I can see a lot of people really enjoying this. One thing I would be interested to see is some water cooling setups, because I really do think that you could fit a radiator in the front, the top, possibly do something with this space here without having to actually put a radiator on the top of the case, which would just completely ruin it in my opinion. But generally, perfect. The last case I actually enjoyed this much, I'm pretty sure Lian Li also helped manufacture, which is the NCase M1. Although I dislike that in a number of ways, but I really like the Q17. It's definitely a case that I think will be with me for a long time. I think it's going to replace the, what was I using before as my SFF test bench? BitPhoenix Phenom. So this will be replacing that, and rightfully so, because it is a gorgeous case, down to all the little details I think that make it what it is. Literally just perfect. I can't find a mechanical flaw or like an engineering flaw on the case at all. I've reviewed cases in the past from companies where the power supply doesn't fit in properly, and you know, brackets are rubbish, but with Lian Li, it's just everything will work out of the box. But I hope you enjoyed the review. Obviously this is kind of different for me. It's the first one where I've been in front of a camera, with my little mascots bopping away, and I think I'll be doing more of them if you guys want to see me on camera and stuff. If you do, then that's super. Obviously I do really enjoy making videos. They are, I'd say, a lot harder to do than doing written reviews. Anyone who's like, oh, that guy just makes YouTube videos and he gets the stuff, it's like, no, it's so much harder than that. Just quickly talking about some of the things we've got coming up on the channel. Obviously reviews, unboxing, showcase videos, generally you name it, we're kind of on it. We've got lots of action cameras coming, we've got lots of photography stuff kind of on the go. Audio, we love our audio products at Plexus Hub. I think the next video I'm making today is actually the finished build for a water cooling kit that I got from Aqua Tuning. I've been dreading that because Loop's built, and I've got to change the boards over because I had a problem with the board that I was using. So I've basically got to take a PC to pieces and then put it back together, even though there's a loop inside of it, So that would be interesting, and hopefully nothing leaks everywhere, because you shouldn't really do that. You should drain the loop and then put it all back together and then refill the loop. But I'm just going to change over the boards whilst the loop's still in, so it'll be very, very interesting. But yes, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, check out the Facebook, the Twitter. You know, we're all over the place, and obviously the website, because the website does get a bit neglected at times. I do see a lot of traffic coming from our YouTube to the website, which is nice. It shows that you guys are actually taking the time to look into that sort of stuff. But yeah, once again, thanks. The continued support of obviously the people who watch these videos and the companies that send us these products is paramount to what I do and continuing on to giving you guys content. Let me know your thoughts on the Q17, because I feel it's a bit of a talking point. 150 pounds, SFF, Asus design. Well, I say Asus design, Asus lineage. And whether you guys would actually like to see more cases that are just geared towards your gear. Like, do you want an MSI case that's just about the MSI? You know, do you believe in your products so much, or you know, your motherboard, your graphic cards, that you want a case that just basically says, this is what I am about, this is me. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.